What is going on, FA Nation? John and Pepe here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook Live show. It is a Monday. Monday. Should we have Friday, Monday, you know? A money Monday. We gotta get like
sad yay.
we gotta get a little not a case of the Mondays, we're out here to win some money here tonight. We'll see.
It's funny you went with case because that was a super strange moment that just happened, and I'll explain why. Because you said case, and I was singing money, 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 money. But the reason I'm saying that is because I think Diddy was in that song.
Got it.
Or it was part of that song.
Sure.
So that was just a super random coincidence that you said that, and then I was singing a Diddy song.
Well, Case of the Mondays is from Office Space. Have you seen Office Space?
Maybe
you would know if you saw it or not.
So, I've seen every clip possible of that movie.
You gotta watch it. It's an all-time classic. I get that I'm like 3 years older than you, so maybe more than that. Maybe
my God, 3 years, dude.
But that's huge. Listen, I missed the entire SpongeBob era because so maybe you just missed out on Office Space. Anyways, 9 games. We have some weather to talk about. Weather that I don't remember being an issue last night when we were recording. Maybe I just missed it. But Cleveland, Minnesota, gonna have some rain in the area, more so in the later innings of this game, which I guess could be a problem here.
Yep.
Something to watch for. And then the Detroit-St. Louis game. Detroit-St. Louis is the game with rain potentially coming in the later innings. And we could have Cleveland, Minnesota start with some rain, and it just gets worse kind of as the game goes on. So I guess pay attention to those two matchups. We did spend some time talking about those two games. Obviously, from a value perspective, we talked Logan Allen and how bad Minnesota's been against lefties this year. And then Sonny Gray and his struggles against righties. We had some Tigers that maybe we were looking at it. On the flip side, all the lefties against Kiter Montero for St. Louis, we kind of liked. So it's a 9-game slate, but some potential rain in the forecast. It's also 90 and wind blowing out in Tampa Bay. It's like 90 and wind blowing out in Sacramento. We have Coors. So the big
60, by the way, 60 and wind blowing in Coors.
True. Cool and wind blowing in. I don't even know how much that actually matters.
It doesn't. I don't know if it matters.
A little bit there. So yeah, it should be kind of an interesting spot here, I guess, now, given the weather impacts, where we kind of go with our lineup builds. Ownership today also, not too surprising. Christopher Sanchez, your top rostered starting pitcher, that we knew.
Yeah.
I thought maybe we'd get a little bit more on Luis Castillo. He's still over 20%. And obviously, if the rain impacts those other games, he ends up being right up there among the highest rostered pitchers today. So any changes for you before we dive in here, Grande?
Other than my underwear, nothing to note.
All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in to chat here. Our guy Icy through you, Justin. Happy Monday. Anthony shouting us out. Isaac Paredes revenge night.
No.
Always good with the narratives here. Jimmy Butler revenge game. Isaac Paredes revenge game. Lock it up. Will Taylor Ward's heater continue in the hot weather of Sacramento, says Cam the Man. Warren says, hey. Rusty says, Friday night was a great night. Played the Giants, got the 3-homer Flores game at 1%. I love that. Mark says you need to watch Office Space. You do have to watch Office Space. C-Mar saying Office Space is great. Weatherman John needs a raise.
No, he doesn't.
I am not a good weatherman.
He was fired. He was previously fired from that position.
You won't believe this or not, but my cat wants to get out of the room because we've just started talking. So we'll see if she makes a audible appearance or not on this show here today. Let's get into pitching. Robbie Ray, $10,000. Kansas City Royals, as we mentioned on the preview show, basically dead last in all the offensive categories you look for: average, ISO, and WOBA. Only like a 22% strikeout rate, so not super high, but still good enough. Robbie Ray himself, like a 25% strikeout rate here. Walks are a problem. It's almost 4.5 or over 4.5 here. Under 20% as of now for Robbie Ray. Are you spending up for the top price starting pitcher tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really interesting spot, especially considering not a lot of people are going there. Let me back it up. That more people are going to the other guy in
Yeah.
this year, and one of the two has been definitively better than the other, right?
Mhm.
And there's only a $500 gap. So if I was ranking out the top pitchers, I would have Robbie Ray a sizable bit ahead of Luis Castillo. Not that I think Robbie Ray's, I mean, it's not a much different matchup. The only thing that the White Sox do more is strike out. They strike out a lot against right-handed pitching. Casey strikes out around 22% of the time against lefties. But Luis Castillo doesn't strike people out. So what gives here? Will Luis Castillo rack up strikeouts? Will he not? Because I think there's clear leverage going to Robbie Ray over Castillo. And again, I'm not sitting here saying I would like necessarily play all these White Sox or play any White Sox for that matter. But like, if Luis Castillo throws 6 innings of 1-run ball and strikes out 3 batters, well, that's not good enough at $9,500, right? And that's very well within the range of outcomes for Luis Castillo. Robbie Ray, despite the Royals only striking out 22% of the time against lefties, might strike out 10 guys over that same 6-inning span. So, yeah, I do think that there's some merit getting to Robbie Ray and the matchup that he's in versus the matchup or like the upside that he has versus the upside that Castillo has. You know, the price does not match what Castillo's pitched to this year.
And again, it's just simply the fact that you see White Sox on the menu and you want to click the pitcher.
Right.
I do want to just quickly hit Jonathan's question here because it is on FanDuel. If you're playing on FanDuel and you have to play that Pirates Reds game here today, this would be a spot to play Nick Lodolo. The strikeout numbers this year are way down than what they've been in the past in terms of K per 9. But Pittsburgh is a bottom feeding team against left-handed pitching, a 27% strikeout rate, 219 batting average, a 105 ISO, 273 WOBA. So if you are on FanDuel today and you're looking for Lodolo maybe as a value play, left side of the spot played for him on the road, not having to deal with his home ballpark there, definitely can spend down on Lodolo. So quickly giving you a little FanDuel insight there. Where are you in Bubic? $9,700 opposite Robbie Ray.
He's been a really good pitcher. It's a pretty good spot. San Francisco's middle of the pack against lefties. The only thing that they're plus in is power, 10th in ISO, but they strike out about 25%.
Ramos driven ISO number.
Yeah, the Ramos number specifically. So I like them. And none of the peripheral stats suggest that there's any regression coming. So I'd be good with Bubic.
Yep, I'm agreeing with you there. Again, Christopher Sanchez, as we kind of identified, highest roster pitcher on the slate today. The 8K price tag is a bit of a joke here. Would have no problem getting there, even with the win. 16 wind in, like that only helps him a little bit more, right? So certainly good there. Bailey Ober and Sonny Gray are also getting ownership. They're actually 2 and 3. Now they're in 2 games that could deal with some rain tonight. Are you surprised Gray versus Detroit is getting the love that it's getting?
If you remember in the pre-show, I was like, I think Sonny Gray is going to be low owned. And then I stopped and I was like, actually, I don't, because people just chase strikeouts. And that's what Sonny Gray does, right? You had talked about it last night, 29% strikeout rate against lefties.
Yeah.
And the peripheral stats actually look really bad against lefties this year. So those are even a little concerning because we had spoken of how bad he's been against righties.
Yeah.
Only reason I would say I'm not is because strikeouts are king and Sonny Gray can miss a lot of bats. So maybe people are not hip to how good Detroit is. And, they are top 6 in OPS. They're 6th in OPS, 5th in WOBA, and 11th in ISO against right-handed pitching. They only strike out 22% of the time. They're a good offense against righties.
Yeah.
But Sonny Gray can miss bats at a really high level and it has not been this bad. Like he has always had a little bit of an issue allowing home runs, but he has not been this bad in a pretty good pitching environment. So not necessarily surprised, and I'm not surprised with Ober either. I mean, we've said it all year. He's a good pitcher. When we saw his price tag dip to what $7,000 on that like third slate of the year because he had one bad start, we were like, okay, like this is like he had 200 strikeouts last year and he won a bunch of games, and Cleveland is a mediocre at best offense, like 21st in OPS against righties, 21st in WOBA, 14th in ISO. That's the best, mark that they have.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like Bailey Ober. I think he's a very nice play if you get there as well.
And again, those are games that are dealing with some potential weather, so ownership could just start to fade off of them as well as we get closer to roster lock there. Anybody on your way down here? We obviously highlighted, some value options, but with the way some of the weather now is in those offensive ballparks, Pepio, Soriano feeling a little less great, per se. We talked about Logan Allen and his matchup against Minnesota, how poor Minnesota's been against lefties, but now there's some rain concerns there. Tampa Bay is sitting their lefty, or at least they're sitting Aranda. So
did you see that? Dude, their lineup is just.
I saw that Lau is still in there. So
Caballero is hitting second, and Christopher Morel is hitting third. That's all you need to know.
It's not great.
Those two players, I'm sorry, like Caballero has been like halfway decent against lefties, so I can give him that. What has Christopher Morel done to hit third? No. Just because he's a righty? Like, isn't Tampa the analytics team? Aren't they the one that started?
I don't know. They let Cal Quantrill get an immaculate inning against them yesterday, so
that's fair. But I feel like they're the ones that started this whole analytical movement. And Christopher Morel has a 111 ISO and a 215 WOBA against righties and the 42% strikeout rate, or lefties with a 42% strikeout rate. That's your three hitter, 42% strikeout rate. Like, guys, are
you still in on Colton Gordon then?
No, because it's 90 degrees, and I don't want, even if it's not 90 degrees and it's in the 80s, like that ballpark has been elite for home runs.
Mid 80s, 9 mile an hour wind blowing out is what it says. So.
I'm just saying, like, the Tampa lineup, whatever you just said, just triggered my brain. Like, I can't believe they're doing this. The Soriano thing is a little interesting because, dude, this guy is absolutely insane with ground balls. He has a 62% ground ball rate this year.
I mean, double digit ground ball outs in all but 2 starts.
18% fly ball rate this year.
Can't homer if the ball's not in the air.
Dude, and like righties have had a little bit of success. Like they're hitting 290 and he has allowed a 36% hard hit rate to righties this year. But like death by 1,000 paper cuts, that's how I'd lose a bit. Like the strikeouts are obviously a little bit and the ballpark is obviously terrible. But I'd be okay with Soriano. I kind of feel the same way about Dean Kramer, although like I know the pitcher hasn't been great this year, but what's worse, Dean Kramer, the pitcher, or the Milwaukee offense? Because against right-handed pitcher, this is an offense that we've like really picked on against lefties.
Unless your name is Zebby Matthews, you seemingly have a problem against.
Sure, it's fair. I mean, the walks obviously were the downfall of Matthews yesterday, but Milwaukee's 27th in OPS and ISO against righties this year. They're 25th in WOBA. Like they are just a bottom 5 team in basically every category. He needs to avoid the lefties.
Yeah.
What are the lefties in the Milwaukee lineup? What are the lefties?
Bauer.
Okay.
Krang.
Yelich. Okay.
Frelick. You still got Frelick on that team?
They do.
Is Garrett Mitchell healthy?
No.
All right. Huh?
We don't even have the lineup. Like, it's just not like one of those lineups that are terrifying again. And I'm not saying even Kramer's been good because the strikeouts have been non-existent and whatnot.
Well, that's been the big problem for him this year, right? Last 2 years, he had an 8.1 and 8.5 K per nine, which is not great, but okay.
Solid.
6 K per nine right now.
Yeah, it's
which
terrible.
is unfortunate because like his 2.3 walks per nine is a career low. So like he's not walking anybody. He's not striking out anybody anymore, though. 14% home run to fly ball rate, second highest of his career, only from his rookie season. 40% ground ball rate, so right above there with his career best. So like all of those numbers look great if he could just strike more guys out.
Right.
But he's not. He's not missing any bats, and that's kind of where the problem is. His 5.36 ERA. He does have an expected ERA of 4.6, so like slightly unlucky, but
yeah.
I mean, I did kind of call this out on the show before. Like he's had 2 good starts. 2 of the last 3 times he's taken the mound. He's looked okay. You know, it's. Do you think Baltimore's offense gets going? I mean, Quint Priester's now the long guy. They got an opener going.
Oh, I know the left, and it's a lefty.
Yeah,
it's a lefty.
This dude's gonna go out there and throw 2 shutout innings tonight, run through the Baltimore lineup.
I know it sucks.
So I'm kind of with you on the Soriano thing. I think Soriano is a spot I would go at 73. Sanchez obviously at 8K, and then I think I'm just paying for Robbie Ray.
What about are you too worried about the weather for Logan, formerly T. Allen?
If the game starts, I feel better about it, I guess is my question, right? I mean, if you're looking at Kevin Roth, and we read off his weather report, obviously, he lowered the risk. This was obviously earlier this afternoon. He thinks there could be an early postponement. So, like, he thinks that rain is going to be an impact in this game. So, I don't know what that means. Either they're going to postpone it because they don't want to deal with the rain later, or they play and then the rain, they just play wet.
Yeah.
This is also, and I've said this before, and we've been right on this call before, they're a divisional game.
Yeah.
They don't have to play tonight. They can postpone it. They can double header it. They can reschedule later in the season because they are a divisional opponent. So, this isn't like the Rockies in Minnesota and they're never going to come back here again. Like they'll play each other a bunch more this year. So.
Don't you think they would? Because we're like basically 2 hours away from the game. Like from like a business standpoint and like I don't want too many fans to show up standpoint. If they're going to do it, like it has to be soon.
No, you get them in the ballpark,
get them to spend money, and then
get them to spend money, and then you say, "Hey, come back with your tickets, and you'll get to come back." And
that's fair. You know what?
Next game.
I was just trying to be like
nah,
nice,
man, owners are a-holes,
guy.
dude.
I know.
Owners are a-holes. They want you in that ballpark, eating their hot dogs, drinking their beer. They give you a 90-minute rain delay, and then they say, "Go home," and then you do. You paid for parking, you paid for the beer, you paid for the hot dog. That was your dinner for the night,
That's true.
And now you get to go catch like an inconvenienced time doubleheader or something like that where your tickets are good.
John, don't start talking about food. Po Degen Stoner just showed up. He definitely is going to start talking.
Got the munchies.
He's got the munchies for sure.
All right, let's go to catcher. The Nats way, yeah, exactly.
Dude,
the Nats can't it doesn't rain, so.
Bro, I can't believe people that is still the reference point. That is still the line of demarcation, right? Like the Nats raining out a game. The
league reprimanded them.
Yeah.
Because they've been way better.
Sure.
Sure. Again, the thing that we all remember happening was like 6 years ago at this point.
I'm saying. Like we're still getting those drops here.
I'll never forget Kevin Ross' tweet. He's like, it never dropped a drop of rain.
Not
they called the game. So,
yep.
Anyways, Rowley against Martins, $5,400. We have Philly in course, so Real Muto's $49. You have Avon, Aaron Judge, Herrera at $4,800. 430 with a 1,300 OPS from them there. We'll see what the Dodgers do. I would imagine Will Smith maybe plays, but I don't know. They do. Dalton Rushing's there. They've been alternating games for him. They did activate Teoscar today. You were correct on that call. We did just get a Brewers lineup. William Contreras is hitting second. So.
We got 2 lineups.
Oh, okay.
Phillies. This is going to excite you.
Edmundo Sosa is hitting
all the righties.
Okay.
All of them. All the outfielders.
Wow. Yeah, not even Marsh or Kepler. They're all out. all the righties.
Weston Wilson. You were chomping at the bit.
Every righty I called out on the show last night in the lineup. Which is good also for the Edmundo Sosa thing, because I wrote up the underdog article over at Fantasy Farm today. My boy Edmundo and his 407 batting average versus lefties is in there for that today. So we ride.
Shout out to Edmundo and the Brewers. 1 lefty, 2 lefty, 3 lefty, 4. One of them is Isaac Collins. 2 of them is Sal Frelick.
Okay.
And the lineup ends Monasterio Durbin. So
not exactly Bonds and Kent there is what you're saying.
No.
Not quite. All right. Let's see here. So that's all your top guys. You can pretty much play them all.
They're great.
All arguments. No arguments. Logan Hoppy against JT Ginn, $3,700.
Yeah, the Ginn stuff is interesting because obviously Cam the Man had brought up the Ward stuff, and Hoppy's here. It's another. I wish there were more lefties in the lineup because JT Ginn since last year has been awful against lefties.
Sure.
And he's been pretty dominant against righties. 28% strikeout rate against righties, 133 ISO, 115 expected ISO, super high ground ball rate, 59% ground ball rate for JT Ginn. The lefties are what's killing him. So maybe the weather just trumps the goodness of JT Ginn. But before that one game against the Dodgers, Hoppy has been not bringing a bat to the plate. So
sure. Where do we have Yanier hitting 5th, $3,000. If you're not a Pepio guy or you just want to play the weather today, Warren says Astros to the moon. There's a couple of Astros I think that are
agreed
interesting. Diaz certainly fits it because it's catcher. And he is not a $3,000 catcher. We saw that last year. We played him forever at this price last year, waiting for them just to move him. He had stretches of being better. He homered yesterday. I'm good playing some Diaz tonight.
And we talked about this on the show last night. Right-handers are giving Pepio fits this year.
Yeah.
245 ISO, 386 WOBA. They're hitting 300 and almost 2 home runs per 9. And now we're putting him in this small ballpark. Guess what, guys? Houston has a boatload of righties in their lineup. I think just Victor Caratini is the only lefty in their lineup tonight because they don't have lefties. They decided let's trade for all righties. So, I actually think the Diaz call is good. I don't hate for cheaper Caratini either at 2,800. I think
Caratini for sure.
Either catcher, both hitting behind each other makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah, he'll hit from the left side, obviously being a switch hitter, but
yeah.
That's perfectly fine. Again, cheaper play at 28. And then we're all just sort of waiting for Dalton rushing, I guess.
Yep.
Tice hitting second.
Interesting.
I get it. I know it's Matt Tice, but Luis Castillo does give up home runs. Tice does have.
Do you have
last year batter some power? So
do you have Fangraphs up?
I do.
So I tried to open it, and I immediately looked at my camera, and my whole computer froze. So I closed it. Look at Luis Castillo. And I actually got to the road numbers this year, but just read them out loud because they are actually pretty staggering how bad Luis Castillo is on the road. And they're really bad on the road this year.
Okay. Road ERA is 5.87, allowing a 323 batting average against, 370 WOBA against for him as well.
13% strikeout rate?
Strikeout rate.
14%. Yeah. I mean, dude.
13.5% strikeout rate on the road. This year, not giving up any home runs on the road, only 0.6 so far.
Interesting.
Last year was 1.5. Let's see here. Almost a 2 whip, pretty bad there. 562 xFIPs, obviously pretty bad. So numbers are not bad, but just 1 road homer allowed.
Interesting.
Versus 3 home, which again, smaller sample size, 4 total homers allowed on the year. But this is a guy that, the last couple of years, a ton of home runs allowed, especially on the road. So I just think the batting again. Matt Tice is not a 2-hitter,
No.
but on the White Sox he is. So you take that, and then again, if Dalton Rushing's in the lineup, I would play Dalton Rushing. So.
Agreed.
First base, again, a lot of options here. The Dodgers are up top. You have Bryce Harper at 61. We mentioned the righties were the ones giving Sonny Gray problems this year for the power. 2 homers per 9 allowed by Sonny Gray to right-handed hitters. So Torkelson getting 5th. Certainly a spot. Naylor versus Landon Knack. I know you're off the Knack attack there. He's $4,500. And Wilmer Flores and his 3 homers the other day gets the lefty, his correct split side. Bubic obviously pitching really well this year, but he's 43.
Yeah, I'm just quickly looking up to see if Wilmer is in fact the league leader in RBIs. And he is, John. Number 1, Wilmer Flores. Number 2, Aaron Judge. So
that was like when Josh Naylor was leading the league in RBIs a few years ago. You're like, what? Josh Naylor leads the league in RBIs? Like, how does that make any sense?
For all those that think Wilmer Flores was the better acquisition for the Giants than Aaron Judge, you're right. He's better in RBIs. Yeah, like Ohtani and Freeman look absolutely incredible against Brendan Pfaadt. We know he can't get lefties out, and that still holds true this year. Harper is fine. I think he's really expensive, and this is obviously a great spot. It's Coors. Torkelson will be unowned. I think Naylor. I was looking at the numbers earlier. The Landon Knack numbers are interesting because he's been really bad against righties. And you and I actually built with Lourdes last night. But like their strengths are their lefties, right? Like they have endless amounts of lefties that they can throw you, other than Eugenio, who we're going to talk about in a few, and Lourdes, who actually has been really good against righties. So interesting to see what the lineup looks like for Arizona. But I say that I would, if I'm playing Arizona, I'm not just like playing Gabriel Moreno, Eugenio Suarez, and Lourdes Gurriel. I would have other exposures as well. So like if I played Naylor or Pavin, I like that as well.
Yeah. I mentioned Miguel Vargas again. If you're anti-Castillo, he's $3,600. We did have somebody earlier, I think, mention a little White Sox stack somewhere up here.
Yeah, my boy
Richard.
Yeah, my boy.
White Sox minis, instant leverage. Vargas, Robert. Yeah, that's what we said on the preview show, man. I definitely think there's something to play there.
Can I also be like secondary perspective guy? Like I don't disagree with that statement.
You about to throw a wet blanket on me here? What are we doing?
I don't disagree with the statement.
Okay.
I also think you can, like on a 9-game slate, if you're avoiding Luis Castillo, you also don't have to stack against him.
You don't have to. I would agree with you.
Because like the one-off thing, like your Miguel Vargas play or Tice, right? Those are fine. Those are cheap plays. But like
Tice obviously making a bit more sense because he's at the catcher.
Right. I think like the context matters. Like Castillo has not been good on the road. Overall, he's a good pitcher. Has been a good pitcher. Pitched in a really bad ballpark for many years and was good in that ballpark. So like it's not like he just forgot how to pitch in other situations other than Seattle. Mm-hmm. He also had a start like a few starts ago where he went 6 innings, allowed 1 run, and didn't strike anyone out. But like that didn't do anyone any good in fantasy, right? Like he and then Seattle has a nasty back end of the bullpen. So it's not like this is a situation where, oh yes, I can't wait to get to Andres Munoz. So you're like, no, you want to do anything possible to avoid getting to Andres Munoz. So where, Richard, I don't necessarily disagree if you wanted to do like a mini. I also don't know if you have to do that, where like you just play one if you're doing it and like punting a catcher or one off Miguel Vargas or something like that. So in baseball, you don't have to, like there are leverage spots, but like leverage with the White Sox may not be the best.
I mean, leverage with the White Sox is almost never the best.
Yeah.
But if you want to one-off it because it fits your builds, you certainly can get it done there. I mean, I got to be honest with you. Kind of it's like scrolling through. Like, I don't think first base is that strong today. I don't think there's like a lot of great options for us. Rowdy is hitting 6th.
Yeah.
He's chasing the homer.
Yeah.
But this might be a spot where you just pay kind of the top half, pick a guy, and just play like a safe Yandy Diaz today.
Dude, his ownership is. I actually wanted to talk about it because, like, obviously it's first and third, like the positional eligibility is baked in.
Mm-hmm.
What did Colton Gordon do to everyone to think that he's possibly the worst pitcher that ever touched the earth? Because
I just think it has to do with the
ballpark and the weather. And
he didn't pitch well last time.
No, he didn't. No, I'm not saying he did, but like Yandy, Morel, and Caballero are the 3 highest roster players of the day. It's like, okay, sure, those aren't exactly the best players, and like Yandy's not even like, it's not like this is like 3,600 Yandy. I'm fine with it if you want to play Yandy Diaz in a good environment. It's like I feel kind of the same way. I'd play Wilson Contreras today if you wanted me to look at value. We're going to see Kyler Montero as the long man behind Gunther. I think Wilson Contreras, after his terrible start, has been really good for an extended period of time. Christian Walker looks really good against Pepio, who can't get righties out, or at least there's power issues with Pepio when it comes to righties. So Christian Walker at $3,400. I do actually like Colt Keith. I know you've talked about the righties pretty extensively when it comes to Sonny Gray. There's also peripheral stats that suggest Sonny Gray is kind of bad against lefties too, John. 212 expected ISO to lefties, 336 expected WOBA to lefties. So I don't even mind playing someone like Colt Keith at 3,100 hitting the middle of their lineup. So it obviously is weather dependent there because that the game that will matter. But
so our guy Anthony just said Roth updated his weather report.
Looking
at it now, he has upgraded Detroit and St. Louis. Feels fairly confident they can get most, if not all, of the game in. Rain likely doesn't arrive until the 8th or 9th inning where there would be trouble. And then Cleveland, Minnesota, though, he is a little less bullish. He thinks rain starts around the 5th inning. Then they might just try to play through to get 5 in. So
just play through to get 5 in. Jesus Christ.
So he thinks that game may not finish. So Cleveland, Minnesota is a much riskier prospect here. If they don't outright call it beforehand.
So you could potentially treat this as an 8-game slate.
Yeah, I think that would, for at least for me, if you're playing multi lineups today, sure, go ahead and get some exposure because no one's probably playing that game anymore once kind of we get a full cycle through on these ownership updates, because no one's going to play a 9K or no one's going to pay up for Cleveland, Minnesota today, and knowing that game may not go all the way through. So
no.
But it does make Detroit, St. Louis that much more safer. So
agreed.
That's good for us if we want to go Torque or something like that. Any other first baseman?
No.
All right, let's get to second base here. Warren wants to know, how does Holiday keep getting cheaper while smashing? $3,400. He does now get lefty for at least the first at bat. Take that for whatever it is.
Yeah.
He's obviously been really good. Number 1 overall pick, number 1 prospect. They rightfully decided, let's not hit him 8th anymore. Let's,
What do you think their 12 wins gave them that idea, or?
Yeah, let's just see what happens if we put good hitters behind our top prospect, and maybe he sees better pitches, and things can go his way here. And hey, the power has arrived. So you got that there. Ownership wise at second base today, it's Holiday, and it is my guy Edmundo. Edmundo Sosa is, where's his price tag? Where's Sosa? Here it is, $4,400. Coors Field bump. As Grande pointed out, he's not playing a ton because he's literally just there to hit lefties. The only difference this year from years past is he has an 060 ISO versus lefties.
Okay.
Whereas over 200 the last couple of years, but he still has an almost 900 OPS. and like a 400 plus WOBA because he just hits. So he's hitting 400 against them. So the home run power hasn't been there. He has 0 home runs in general. But for still a 340 average, 830 OPS overall in the year, hitting in, the top bottom of that lineup, was hitting like 6th or 7th today. So
seventh.
Yeah, I still like Sosa even at a little bit more expensive cost there, but Jackson Holiday could get Quinn Priester in his second at bat and take him yard. So I'm happy going to either of those two.
Sosa's ownership has actually fallen off quite a bit.
Has it?
Yeah, Altuve is now the highest rostered second baseman of the day.
Okay,
which is interesting. But again, that game is extremely popular.
All right. Well, where else are you looking at second?
I mean, just circling back to the top, Ketel Marte is homering a lot.
Sure.
Since he, pre-injury, post-injury, he homers all the time. So Ketel Marte, Polanco, this matchup against Davis Martin is pretty good. You kind of had profiled it yesterday, how a lot of surface level stuff for Davis Martin is not what it appears to be. And lefties are killing him. 1.3 home runs per 9, 4.7 xFIP. So I like the Mariners quite a bit. I loved your Rowdy call because I do think this is a home run spot for him. Same thing for Polanco. If you can muster up the funds, I know he's been kind of bad, but it's a Seattle, I think, is a really nice offense to target. I mean, they're top 12 in basically every offensive category this year against righties, top 9 in ISO and WOBA. So I like Polanco. Glaber hitting second. We know the spot that Glaber's in, how good righties have been against.
And again, the righties against Gray, right? That now becomes a bit more play. So
Brendan Donovan will get Kiter Montero second time around. And we've talked about this before. Even the lefty-lefty matchup is fine. Brendan Donovan hits lefties as well as he hits righties. So, or was at least previously when we were looking at this. So I like all those plays. I don't mind Altuve. Hitting third, I think, is a little bit interesting. That is obviously a change. That they're switching Paredes back to 2. They're hitting Altuve 3.
Yeah.
In a really good ballpark for offense against a pitcher that struggles against his split specifically. So I actually kind of like the Altuve lineup position change to third, and I kind of like the price as well.
Yeah. The only other one I would just want to give a note to is just trying to pay attention to what the Dodgers do. I mean, they kept Tyson Kim up here. They have Edman obviously active, but it's now a righty on the mound. They've sat Kim the last 2 games with a lefty on the mound. Does Edman and Kim now find themselves in some sort of platoon? Do they move Edman to the outfield with Teoscar and Paez and playing that kind of outfield correlation and Sick and Fordo? This would be a spot where Kim would play, and Kim's $3,100. As much as I like Brandon Pfaadt, I obviously don't like him against the Dodgers. So would certainly give Kim some consideration if we get the lineup before roster lock, or you're able to kind of maneuver and get him around there. So
agreed.
Anything else at second for you?
I don't think so.
Okay. Third base position. Jose Ramirez in that game where may not finish. So we're out on that one. Eugenio was kind of the guy we highlighted on the preview show. A lot of power against Landon Knack here.
Yeah, and it's real. The Landon Knack stuff since last year has been all to righties. This year, nothing has changed. He had the only thing that's changed is less fly balls. He had over a 50% fly ball rate to righties last year. But even with a 39% fly ball rate to righties this year, 2.35 home runs per 9 innings, Sean. This guy just loves handing out home runs. Do you want a home run? Do you want a home run? Right-handed bats are what absolutely demolishes him. Eugenio hits a lot of home runs against righties. That is his MO. 46% hard hit rate for right-handed bats. And Logan Knack, who has actually missed bats, lefties, at a considerable rate, 30% strikeout rate, only 17% to right-handed bats. So I am all the way in on Eugenio Suarez today.
In a ballpark that we know gives up some home runs.
In a really, really, really good hitting environment. So yes, this is, if he's not my favorite third baseman of the day, it's really close. I think there's a case that could be made for like Bohm, Caminero, and Paredes hitting second. I think those four would probably be like basically my player pool. I don't have much else to add here. Maybe Muncy for a left-handed.
Yeah, Muncy would probably be the other guy. Wearing the glasses now. We got an Athletics lineup. Jacob Wilson not leading off.
Wow, they're moving it again, huh? Hitting him second.
They got Butler leading off today. Because when you can take the 340 hitter out of your leadoff spot, you do it. But at least they kept him at second, right? So like, hit him in your top two. You're doing good.
Yeah.
And then Josh Rojas again is hitting in their lineup, hitting eighth today. I don't get much else here though.
Nope.
Shortstop. Bobby Witt 6K, Trey Turner 59, Mookie Betts 58. All good.
Warren, don't do this to me, dude. Come on. Don't do this.
Just type it out. What's the BVP? Can't be that much.
Please don't.
He's got,
I beg of you.
Does he have one at bat against this guy?
He's 3 for 3 with 3 home runs. You know, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, shortstop. Good players.
All great. Gunner's still too cheap, even with the lefty opening here.
Yep.
Perdomo, obviously, has been outstanding. Going to hit from the left side on this one, but still.
Geraldo, 2025 All-Star coming in. Yeah, I mean, he's Perdomo this year from the left side. I can't look because they're projecting Jordan Lawler. It's not correct, but yeah, Perdomo is definitely fine. Dude, I told you this Caballero thing is sweeping the nation. He's the highest rostered shortstop of the day, hitting second. He's been good. He steals bases. He hits lefties a lot. I don't know if I'd play Caballero at short. I don't, because like opportunity cost, but I would play him somewhere. Like
play him in the outfield.
I play him in the outfield. Like he has a 194 ISO against lefties this year. He has a 389 WOBA. Now, his expected ISO from 194 is 061. That is bad. His expected WOBA 325. That's fine. He has a 455 BABIP.
You know why that is though? Because he's very fast.
He's very fast. He also has a 32% strikeout rate against lefties.
Yeah. But if he hits a ground ball,
he's safe and then steals 2 bases.
And he steals a couple bases. So Jacob Wilson, Jeremy Pena in that mid range as well. All good there.
All good. Yep.
All good. Good. All good there. Mason Wynn's hitting second at $3,000.
Yep.
Also good. Anything else for you? Tovar hitting second.
I mean, we knew we'd get to the Tovar hitting second point. I mean,
I'm not playing him, but you can. He's good.
And he's
goodish.
He is better than the price.
Really good at home.
Course, yeah.
Really good at home. So
yeah,
there's that. All right, I got nothing else at short.
No.
Okay. Outfield. Ohtani, $6,500. Good player. Solid player.
Pretty good.
Never played an out in the outfield. Schwarber, 64. Corbin Carroll, 62.
Good. Also, pretty good.
Decent,
not bad.
Decent player.
Not bad at base. Yeah, not bad at this sport that he plays.
Oh no, I blew it.
Oh no.
I tried to refresh. And get the update, and the contest filled. Good on DraftKings for filling their contest.
Maybe they should make better prize pools.
Yeah, give me a second. Now I gotta go get
We're back like we never left.
Chorio hitting third. Castellanos hitting cleanup.
Yeah.
Teoscar play, I would assume.
Yeah, I would assume if he's active, he's playing. I don't think they're activating him to sit him.
No, I don't think so either. I'm trying to update ownership, and now my computer has stopped working. So you just keep reading and let me know what you see.
Okay, we will continue on down the outfield list.
Okay.
Castellanos, I like. You could play Rooker if you're into that game. Jordan Beck leading off. Listen. There's obvious, you can play people in cores if you want. Julio Rodriguez, I think, looks pretty great hitting third. He has been much better of late. The power, obviously, being what it is, but he's obviously been better on the road. He's obviously, even in the power department, has been better in the road. He looks great on FanDuel. We had a FanDuel question earlier today from our boy in Discord that's been an OG, and Julio's like 3,100 on FanDuel. I couldn't believe it. Arozarena looks good. Soderstrom looks good. Riley Green is great. Yelich, if you do want to play anyone against Team Kramer, it's the lefties here, so you could play Yelich. Carpenter leading off. Brent Doyle, Ryan O'Hearn range looks really good. Heliot is always live to homer against left-handed pitching. So I think that whole 4K range right there looks super solid.
Yeah, well, a lot of good names. Again, Butler's leading off as well at 43.
Yep.
If you're not going on Soriano there. Weston Wilson, $3,600 in eighth. Cheap Phillies in Colorado today.
Yeah, I wonder like what their ownership ends up at today.
Wilson right now is 8%.
And I think it's like because the understanding that he's not playing a full game today. Right?
You think he gets pitched hit for?
Yeah, I mean, if
at any point Kepler Marsh get in the game?
Yeah, if at any point, if he does not like homer his first at bat, is he playing?
Well, it depends on what the score is, right? They're not going to just stick them in there if they don't need them to.
Sure. It's also
Lourdes at 35.
Yes, love Lourdes at 35. It's a great home run spot. Lourdes 190 ISO against righties this year. We've historically talked about him against lefties, rightfully so, because he's good against lefties and like deserves to be talked about then. Yep. But if he's also going to show power against righty and there's a pitcher that allows a lot of power, I'm in.
Another hot run for Taylor Ward here. He goes through these stretches. He's $3,500 as well. He's getting around 12% ownership here.
Yeah. I mean, the Ginn stuff has been really good against righties. Will he do it on a hot night in his own ballpark, right? That's the
coming off an injury.
Coming off an injury, right.
Burleson's fine, even with the lefty opener there. Again, Kiter Montero versus lefties are some pretty bad numbers.
Yep.
Let's see. You got Leotis hitting 7th. Willie Castro's hitting 9th, but again, we're not really touching Cleveland, Minnesota. Collins, I don't really think there's anything else down here.
Obligatory Cam Smith 3K. Palacios hitting 5th. I mean, the White Sox are so bad. It's so bad.
All right. Your highest roster player of the day that isn't a pitcher is Shohei Ohtani's 27%.
Okay. No, I think that has changed, unless mine is wrong.
I think you need to refresh because I just updated. So
okay, you're right. I take it back. I take it all back.
Okay. So Ohtani is your top overall guy. Are we doing that? Are we spending up for Ohtani today?
I mean, dude, Brandon Pfaadt is bad against lefties. He is bad against lefties. 188 ISO, 251 expected ISO, 341 WOBA, 398 expected WOBA. The ballpark that just plays to all the home runs.
Would you do it like a Soriano Sanchez to kind of fit that in? Or do you? I mean, if we do Ray and Sanchez and Ohtani, it's 3,600. I think we can still make this work.
You play Bohm. You play Bohm at third, right? You play Caballero.
Yeah, Bohm at third. He's still kind of expensive. Caballero. The outfield is 36 or short. Now I want to put him in the outfield, don't we? Caballero in the outfield. Catcher, we go to like Carantini for now, and then like pivot if we need to. 3,700. Let's see. I mean, again, I would like to play Kim if I knew he was going to be in the lineup. Otherwise, it'd be Holiday.
Yes.
39, first base. So we got about 4K a play for
Lourdes in the outfit. I mean, this is going to be so everywhere. It's going to be all over the place. Because we also don't have Unigenio, and I like Unigenio too.
Yeah, well, because we have Bohm.
I know.
We can do Ohtani at first and then get us correlation into the outfield somewhere. 4,100. Let's see.
Wait, oh boy. You could also play Caballero at short if we wanted, which I don't know if we do or not.
Trying to fit it in here, people. Ohtani being so expensive could be a reason why Robbie Ray is only getting 15% as well.
For sure.
Not spending up there.
Agreed. So everyone's living in this Sanchez or like Pepio up to like Castillo range to save the extra $500.
And Crawford leading off, always been a guy that you like. Oh, so we do Pena. And is there another outfielder at 41? One off Ramos, Altuve. Do you like the 1-3?
I do like the Astros because the Pepio power in the ballpark. I don't really like this lineup. I don't like the lineup. I don't
like the lineup. I don't like it. Ohtani, you're not in it. You're just playing the dangerous game here today. It's not going to play Ohtani.
Like the lefties are legitimately good against Brennan Pfaadt, but it is obviously we want to play Robbie Ray.
I assume we want to play Robbie Ray, right? Because you're getting leverage on the field, at least as of now.
I think Robbie Ray looks good. Yes, I think Robbie Ray looks good.
Steve, we'll check in on that. Sometimes it gets copied over incorrectly, so we'll fix that for you. Let's see here. All right, restart, reset. Who are we definitely wanting in this lineup? You like Arizona today? You like the righties, and you like the Astros?
Yeah, I mean, I like Suarez and Gurriel specifically, and
sure. So we do Suarez, Gurriel. We do Paredes. Paredes is a third base and 2. I thought he had second eligibility.
No.
Kind of a killer. Can't play Paredes then.
Caballero. I mean, Caballero looks pretty good.
Do we just shove him at short?
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, 41. We still go cheap at catcher. Maybe we do, though, 3K in here.
Yep. Altuve at second. Yep.
4K. Now we're working it. Can we reshuffle this? 3,500.
Lourdes. Oh, we're at Lourdes already.
We're at Lourdes already. I feel like correlation was a problem. Go Ward versus Skin, or
Alec Thomas. 34. If we wanted correlation, he probably would be. I don't think we've gotten Arizona lineup. I don't think so. Giants lineup, A's lineup. No, we haven't gotten.
Ohtani just can't make it happen for us today, unfortunately, it seems like. So do we go Coors then? I don't know. Do like Castellanos? 52. Can we get up to like Harper?
If you punted, there's McCormick, or McCusker rather, or Brendan Carlson. Or Dylan Carlson.
Carlson, yeah.
But like these guys are.
Is there a punt shortstop? No.
No, the punt is Curtis Mead, first, second base, but I don't want to play Curtis Mead.
Back down to Carantini, $2,400 outfielder. McCormick is your righty Respepia.
Yeah, I mean he's a little bit. He's. Are we sure he's a righty? Does he bring a bat to?
I don't know. All right, let's go back. I feel like I'm just like wasting time trying to.
This is kind of why the Robbie Ray plays.
Right. That's why he's not getting the ownership, right? We're kind of figuring that out now, right? People aren't getting there, so. All right, 4,100 first base and outfield.
Christian Walker, just do full Houston righty stack. literally just correlate their 3, 4, 5.
And then it gives us a $4,900 outfielder. It's just like absolutely nothing in this spot. Lugo's cheap there, actually. Lugo is 2,600. We just punted Lugo. Does that get us our guy? So
if you go to Caratini, you get Bryce. I think. No. If you go to Danny Jansen, you get Bryce.
Roth downgraded Detroit St. Louis just now.
Dodgers lineup is out. Will Smith is playing, as is Ha-Seong Kim.
All right. Well,
Kim is starting in center field. And Teoscar Hernandez is in the lineup for, was it Warren that asked that? I think Warren asked.
We're live.
We're live. Okay.
Sanchez, Ray, Diaz, Otani, Kim, Suarez, Caballero, Gurriel, Castellanos, and Lugo.
Yeah.
All right. We made it. We made it work. What's the downgrade on St. Louis? He now feels fairly confident they can get most and probably all of this game in. 8th or 9th inning could be trouble. So
8th or 9th inning could be trouble. Okay.
All right. Sanchez, Ray, Diaz, Otani, Kim, Suarez, Caballero, Gurriel, Castellanos, and Lugo. We jammed in Robbie Ray and Otani. We made it work in the end. So good on us there again. Robbie Ray only 15% right now as it stands. So you're getting some leverage on the field, but as of now, also Sonny Gray and Bailey Ober are still getting a lot of ownership. So I have to think as we get closer in the next half an hour, that changes. So not good luck for us. We'll be back tonight with a preview show and we'll be live tomorrow. We'll see you then.